Hello and welcome to the build-up from RamsTV. This is the show that gives you everything you need to know before the big game kicks off. Derby County are heading to Teesside this afternoon and hoping that their first league double over Middlesbrough in 37 years can see the Rams get back to winning ways. It's been 2 months now since Derby's last victory, that 2-1 triumph over West Brom on Boxing Day. The winless run in the league now stands at 11 matches. New boss John Eustace has only been in charge for 2 of those, of course, but he's been dealt a blow this week with the news that midfielder David Ozo is out for the rest of the season. Matt Clark could be missing for the Rams today too after he limped off during last weekend's defeat to Millwall. Clark only moved to Derby from Middlesbrough back in January. Middlesbrough have plenty of injury problems of their own, including former Derby loanee George Edmondson, who's a doubt for today. But after losing 5 matches in a row, Borough finally got back in the win column on Tuesday with a 3-1 victory at relegation-threatened Stoke. Marcus Forss, Finn Azaz and Tommy Conway got the goals. Borough have gone from looking like dead certs for the playoffs to chasing a place in the top 6, having only picked up 10 points from a possible 30 since the turn of the year. But their record against Derby at the Riverside looks pretty daunting for the Rams. In 18 visits, Derby have only won twice, most recently in 2017, courtesy of Matai Vidra's hat-trick. Derby don't have many fond memories of Teesside, that's for sure. But John Eustace has a couple. The Derby boss has already won there a couple of times this season with former club Blackburn. We've been catching up with him, starting first with an update on David Ozo.
Yeah, unfortunately David's going to be missing for the rest of the season now, so it's a big injury and a big loss to the group for sure.
Are you going to try and keep him around the building a little bit just to keep him around the boys? Or?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, listen, he's a fantastic character. For my short time being with him for the last couple of weeks, he's a gentleman, a nice lad, and he gets on really well with the group.
And what about Matt Clark, who went off, I think, with a problem as well?
Yeah, Clarkey will be touch and go for the weekend. We'll have to assess that. It's not as bad as what we first thought, so that's quite fortunate.
Any major updates on anybody else?
No, apart from that, I think Callum has trained last couple of days. Obviously, he missed last week with an illness, so we'll have to assess him tomorrow to see if he's available for selection. But no, apart from that, everyone's fit and ready.
Millwall game at the weekend was only your second match in charge. What was your assessment of that game now, and what are the things from that performance that give you encouragement going forward?
I think just the effort and the desire that the group showed. I thought it was there for everyone to see. We certainly didn't deserve to lose the game. Very evident we need to be better in the final third, a bit more quality, which we've asked from the boys, which we've had this week in training. So just to get that belief in the group is key. I think you can see there was moments throughout that game when we had opportunities, and I think the whole place, the fans, the players are ready to erupt if we get that goal, and that feel-good factor back to the group. So look, very, very close. A lot of hard work ahead, but I've been really happy with the effort of everyone up to now.
You've still not had that many training sessions with the players out on the grass. Can you tell us what sort of things you're working on and what the principles are that you're trying to instill into them?
Just trying to give the belief back into the group. The attitude, the way they've gone about their business for the last few weeks has been excellent. So I've been really pleased with that, and just keeping things very basic, very simple for them. And I think there was a few things that came out at the weekend which was pleasing, and hopefully there'll be a few more things coming out on Saturday.
It has only been 2 weeks, 2 matches for you so far. Has anything changed at all in terms of what you're focusing on or what the plan was when you came in?
No, listen, we just take every game as it comes. It's very important that we just focus on the next challenge. And this week we've set up to how we want to do things on Saturday, and we've worked very hard on it. So we just take each game as it comes. There's a lot of football still to be played, 12 big games, but the most important thing is the next one.
You've had a full week of training. Your opponents on Saturday were in action on Tuesday night. Did you go to Stoke on Tuesday to see Middlesbrough in action?
I did, yeah, and obviously they're a very good team. They've got a fantastic squad. They've invested very heavily again in January, so we know it's going to be a difficult challenge, but one we're really looking forward to.
They'd not been on a very good run by their standards going into Tuesday. Are you, in some respects, happy to see them end that run before you face them at the weekend?
Possibly, but the Championship, all teams go through good spells and bad spells. They've been through a difficult period, but they've come through with a good win on Tuesday, and that's not going to affect the way we approach the game. We just worry about ourselves, and we'll see where it takes us.
You've won at the Riverside twice yourself this season already. Any lessons from those games?
Yeah, but it's different squads, different players, so I'm not taking anything from them games. The most important thing is that we go there on Saturday full of confidence and put a good account for ourselves and see where it takes us.
That's the Derby boss, John Eustace. Well, despite their 5-game losing run recently, Middlesbrough are still within 4 points of the playoffs at the start of the day. There are only 6 separating West Brom in 5th to Sheffield Wednesday down in 13th. Sunderland won last night to stay in the race for the top 2, but it's looking very good for Leeds already. The situation at the bottom, rather more fractured. 10 points separate the bottom 7 sides. Derby 4 points from safety, so even a win today would not get them out of the relegation zone this afternoon. So Derby absolutely desperate for a win. So were Middlesbrough going into Tuesday night's game at Stoke, where they snapped that 5-game losing run, enough to have head coach Michael Carrick smiling again.
Yeah, it was an important result. We know that, not getting away from that. I have to say the mood around the boys has been pretty good and all along. So there's not been a drastic change in that respect. I think there's a feeling inside. Obviously, that's a little bit nicer when you've won a game to when you haven't. But that's what I've got to credit the boys with. I don't certainly not got carried away with one win. We're not shouting from the rooftops. We're not all of a sudden ecstatic and flying around the place because we've won a game of football. But equally so, we weren't on the floor either, and you got to take that balanced view. So the boys have been good all along. But I was delighted for them to get that lift. We got to make the most of that now.
And the run of form you were in before Tuesday, obviously was pretty poor. But in terms of the arithmetic of the league, you're still 4 points off the playoff places. So it's a strange league, isn't it, that you can have a run of form like that and still not really be out of the chase.
It's been like that every year, really. So it is strange in some ways, but it's just not, in some ways it's normal for this league. You can have really good runs, you can all of a sudden hit a sticky patch, and sometimes it doesn't always change an awful lot. Listen, we've dropped away a little bit in terms of league position. We know that, and we want to be a little bit higher up the league, but there's still opportunities, plenty to do that. And I said that before the game going into Tuesday, and one win doesn't change the whole picture, but it certainly gives it a better feeling and a slightly better look. And we're in with a chance. It's we give ourselves that opportunity at this stage to be in there, and we got to try and grasp that.
Derby County, they're in a danger. Pardon me. They're in a tight spot at the moment, but they've got a manager who's moved from a club that was kind of competing for the top 6 to the one that's fighting relegation. What do you make of kind of what John Eustace kind of has in front of him, and what are you expecting from his side coming weekend? Yeah,
we're definitely expecting a tough game. I think we had a tough game when we played them away from home in many ways, and they were very difficult to break down. We couldn't find a way through. They defended really well as a team. And John builds his teams to be like that as well, and we found that when we played against him with Blackburn. So we know that. I think obviously on the back of a win, we got a slight boost in it and a slightly better feeling, but it probably doesn't change how we approach the game. We'll still be trying to do the things that we do well and try and play to our strengths, and we're totally aware of what kind of game it is and the challenges. We're not getting carried away by one victory and thinking everything's all of a sudden all rosy.
Michael Carrick on Derby there. Well, the Championship weekend got underway last night at Hillsborough, Sunderland winning at Sheffield Wednesday. Top of the table Leeds are among the teams in action at lunchtime. They're hosting West Brom. Elsewhere at 3, Luton host Portsmouth and Stoke welcome Watford. A handful of teams not in action over the next couple of days in the league due to FA Cup 5th round weekend. And no such distractions for Derby, of course. Now, the last time the Rams won, Jerry Yates was on the score sheet. And the last time Derby won away from home, their only road victory of the season so far, Jerry Yates was also among the goals. We've been talking to Derby's top scorer about life under John Eustace.
I think there's been quite a few adjustments, really. I feel like he likes his group to be fully together and a good camaraderie around the place. We always come out to training, all of us at exactly the same time, stuff like that. He likes to do everything together. Went for a meal last week as a team, so yeah, he's bringing the group a lot closer, I think, and also intensity in training. He's gone up second to none, like.
Yeah, well, what's been the biggest change? Is it the timekeeping?
Yeah, the timekeeping, not like anyone was ever late, like regularly or anything like that, but I think all coming out together, all doing everything together as one, and literally stuff like the intensity in training is just rocketed. So yeah, I think everyone's pushing each other every day.
Frustration has been one of the buzzwords for the season, and it reared its head again against Millwall on Saturday with that defeat. What was the mood like in the dressing room after that, given you've sort of been there before?
Yeah. Personally, I was a bit frustrated and a bit down, obviously, because it feels like it's becoming a bit of a regular occurrence, and I'm sure the rest of the lads will be exactly the same. But the gaffer and the new coaching staff, they've all picked us up Monday, Tuesday. Listen, we've got to concentrate on the next game. No point worrying about the Millwall at home. Sorry. We've got to move on to the next one. And listen, there's points to be taken away from these teams, so I'm sure we can go and do it in the next few games.
Yeah, and you have the benefit at the moment of only having one game a week, a full week out on the training ground. Are you feeling the benefit of that?
Yeah, of course. The Monday, Tuesday sessions are very, very, very tough. Like, so we're getting probably a little bit more fitness in than we usually do. Obviously tactics, we're doing that every day, shape, stuff like that, so everyone knows their roles within the team, and yeah, I think we're well drilled.
The major issue seems to be obvious to everyone. The team has struggled to score goals. How do you change that? Is it just confidence, belief, or is there more?
I've always said, like, it's like red buses, London red buses, so once one goes in, they'll all come flooding, so I think we've just got to keep working hard, keep like repetition day in, day out with the coaches and stuff like that, keep getting in the right areas, and I think it will come over the next couple of games.
On a personal note, there's only been 2 matches that you've been available for that you haven't started so far. You must be pleased with how much football you've played this season.
No, yeah, of course. I came here to play football and try and help the group, and listen, if I'm helping the group, then I'm more than satisfied with that in any way, shape or form. Whether that be miss a game or two, then obviously to play a stronger squad or whatever, then I don't mind that. But as long as the group stays up, I'm not really bothered, to be honest.
And I appreciate results haven't been what you would want, but how much are you enjoying your time at Derby?
Nah, I'm loving it here. Obviously, I spoke to the gaffer and the previous gaffer. I'm thoroughly enjoying it here every day. Enjoying coming into work, and it's been a lot. It's been something that I enjoy, and probably I didn't as much last season, sort of thing. Obviously, through personal performances, but this year I am very much enjoying it. So yeah.
Now that's Jerry Yates, and this has been the build-up from RamsTV. Coming up this afternoon, it's Middlesbrough against Derby County. You can watch it on RamsTV if you're in one of the EFL's Unsold Markets. Go to dcfc.co.uk for a full list of where you can watch and to buy your Game Pass Matchday Live with you from 2:30. I'll see you then. Goodbye.